Yo, what up folks, MTG here with one of my favourite archetypes in Magic, and that is Blue White Flash, with some new upgrades, or at least new-ish. This is a kind of new style builder here. I'm going to start our way from the bottom and work our way to the top. So, 4 copies of Portable Hull, obviously early removal. Great versus mono green, you can take all their elves. Great versus aggro, you can take all the creatures. Hey, it's great. We've got 2 copies of Spectral Sailor. It's an interesting one here. We're not obviously going in on our enchantments, trying to suit it up like you would do in Spirits. We have a couple here. It provides an early threat to kind of help pressure your opponent a little bit, but we're looking to play around this 4-mana draw card ability and use that to get some advantage getting into the later mid-range game when we're holding our other flash creatures up. At 2, things start getting real. We have the new Faerie Mastermind. Obviously, it's seen a ton of play in the Blue-Black Rogues deck, but it's also great here. Obviously, plays really well with our other flash cards. Gives you a way to really start pressuring your opponent early, to end your turn, and we can back it up with counter spells and other protection stuff. We have Make Disappear as our counter spell of choice, so 2 mana, counter Disappear 2. Later on in the game, Casualty 1, we can sacrifice sending maybe a Spectral Sailor we have lying around, one of our other creatures, power that up a bit, and then we've got a copy of Spectral Adversary. It's a bit of a kind of catch-all in that it scales, which is really nice. But being able to phase things out is actually super powerful, and so just want here to kind of disrupt what our opponent's doing or protect what we're doing. The other thing, and the card that's become like a Fallen All-Star, almost a meme at this point, is Reckoner Bankbuster. Can't remember what percentage of decks was at the standard Pro Tour, something like 70, 80. But here, just a couple of copies, comes down, and then you can start using it to draw cards, get you some advantage, and then later on, obviously, you can start attacking with it, which is awesome. We have Spell Queller, from Shadow Remastered. Huge addition to the format, is incredible. ETB, excellent target spell with mana value 4 or less. And then when it dies, they get the card. Now here, we maybe get like our 2 mana threat down. We then get to counter that turn 3, turn 4 play with Spell Queller. All of a sudden we get to untap with a bunch of counter magic and interaction, and our opponent is tempoed out of the game. That's kind of what we're aiming for here. Brazen Borrower gives us another piece of interaction. Obviously the Petty Theft Adventure ability to bounce non-land permanents, and then gives you a flash 3/1 flyer after that as well. Normally you don't want to play a bounce spell, but here you're getting a threat out of it as well. Is excellent. You can just flash it in on turn 3 if you want a threat. You have a bunch of attackers in the air to flash your planeswalkers and that kind of thing too. Is awesome. The new card that I kind of skipped over there was Errant and Giada. 1 white blue for a 2/3 flash flyer, human angel, legendary creature. You can look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may cast spells with flash or flying from the top of your library. This is awesome. One of the things that these decks tend to have is that they have to struggle with card advantage. You kind of go 1-4 in your opponent, and you're under a lot of pressure to close the game out quickly before they go over the top of you. That's a traditional problem, and this lets you kind of keep getting access to cards. Obviously, you've got a ton of flash creatures between, obviously, you've got Sailors, Masterminds, everything. Note, this says spells with flash, so you can cast Wandering Emperor off the top of your library as well, which we'll get to in a second. Avacyn's kind of floating around up here. It's an amazing card advantage engine. Obviously, 3 mana, 2/3 flash flyer, anyways, not too bad. But that ability there, we're really looking to take advantage of, and that's what we're building around here. There's a 1 copy of Avid Mind Sensor, which I threw in here as like a last edition. I'm a little sick of Enigmatic Incarnation, and so, hey, it's going to get a couple of other things as well, but being able to stop our opponent or limit our opponent searching is super handy, so here it is. It's a nice, cheeky one of the most powerful flash card in the format. Almost certainly is the Wandering Emperor. 2 white comes in on 3. Obviously, it has flash, activate ability as an instant when it comes into play. Also, +1 onto target creature, giving it first strike. Hey, actually suits up, turns your Spectral Sailors, some of your more diddly, more slower flying creatures into very formidable threats to close the game out quickly. Obviously, has the super powerful -2 exile type creature ability to gain 2 life, or can sit around and make samurai tokens. Is really strong. All the modes are excellent. The power, the hammer, as it were, to help this deck through. And then the last card, 3 copies of Archangel Avacyn. 5 mana flash flyer. Obviously, it's 5 mana, so we're only playing 3 copies. So powerful. When it's the battlefield, creature you control get indestructible. You can ambush your opponent. You can survive wrath, that kind of stuff. When a non-angel creature you control dies, transform Archangel Avacyn at the beginning of your next upkeep. And then it transforms into Avacyn at the Purifier, 6/5 flyer, and then when it transforms, does 3 damage to each other creature and each opponent. You have to be a little bit careful with this. You want to make sure you're not popping your spell quellers and that kind of thing. But card is incredibly powerful, and yeah, another amazing reason to play this deck. We've got 25 lands here. 1 copy of Field of Ruin. Sometimes it can be you have pretty awkward ways to deal with man lands, given Portable Hull, obviously, can't catch them, and Brazen Borrower is non-land permanents. You can get them with Wandering Emperor, but hey, another way to kind of deal with those is nice. 4 copies of Secret Coast, 4 copies of Handscape Pathway, 4 copies of Hallow Fountain, kind of what you expect to see. A Deserted Beach, 3 Adakar Waste, and then obviously our utility lands, an Otawara and an Django. We have 1 of each man land, because that can get quite late into the game. Obviously, Hall of Storm Giants is really hard to deal with, and then a couple of each basic as well. We'll go into Sideboard and then hop into some ranked matches. So we've got at the top here 2 copies of Fateful Absence. It's a bit of a catch-all. Destroys creatures and planeswalkers. You're playing against Investigate, but that's kind of fine. We've got a bunch of interactions. It's just a cheap interaction spell to deal with like must-kill creatures, such as like Greasefang. Speaking of Greasefang, we also have 2 copies of Rest in Peace, our kind of graveyard hate spell of choice here. Nothing much else to say, it makes sense. Set of the Wreckage is a really, really nice one versus aggro decks. Obviously, you have this whole Flash game plan anyway, so games 2 and 3, they kind of know that you're going to have a bunch of stuff to do in instant speed, and so, hey, they can only play around so much, and so Set of the Wreckage just blows them out of the water completely. There are a couple of other decks you can bring in against, but hey, obviously, primarily aggro decks. Also for aggro, we have our Angel package, 1 copy of Baneslayer, and 1 copy of Lyra, which kind of houses there, and then a suite of counter spells to kind of change things up depending on the matchup. So, Disable Stroke, again, things like Enigmatic Incarnation, Fires, obviously Mono Green is excellent there. A couple of Dovin's Vetoes, so there's combo decks, things like Creativity and that kind of thing, where they're going to also have counter spells, and hey, you get to counter the counter spells. Obviously, also control decks as well, and then also for blue decks, we've got Mystical Dispute 2. You can kind of chop and change, or if you want to, you can board in a bunch of extra counter spells and match you want them. And the last thing is 2 copies of Supreme Verdict. One of the nice things that despite being a creature deck, obviously all the creatures are flash, we can kind of, if we've got a Verdict, line up how you want to play around it, and then obviously it's great versus aggro, and also quite good in some of the mid-range matchups. Deals with things like Sheldred if they decide to go wide, like the red-black deck goes to commit the board a bit. You can play around a little bit, play like, oh, I've not got much going on, and then Verdict them, and then all of a sudden you get to untap and next turn and then play a bunch of creatures out. Which is great. So a couple of copies of Verdict here. Right, let's hop into Ren Games. If you're not ready, please do subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, let's go. Alright, into our first match here. See how it goes. Yeah, a bunch of new stuff to try out, really. I know Aftermath's out this week as well, but I wanted to get a video in recorded with this blue-white flash deck, because I'm pretty hype on it. We have a couple of interaction spells, and then also Errant, so I feel good enough about keeping it. Despite us not having like a other piece of removal or like a 2-drop to actually come into the board. Opponent's a mulligan, which is fine. I'm just going to lead tap Talent Fountain. Nothing too special. Alright. Ooh, okay, Soulskull Mage is interesting. Maybe I want to wait and see which side I want to play this on. Room position, we're going to need double blue anyway, so I think I'm going to play it here. We'll pass. If they commit to like something to try and power up the Soulskull Mage, maybe we get to Brazen Borrow it. If not, it's fine. I'm unlikely to get this hit, just in case they have something like light up the stage. Put us at a big disadvantage. And so I think we're better off just bouncing it here. It does let them replay it, but if they're stuck on one land and looking to light up the stage, just kind of get around stuff, this works too. Ooh, Phoenix. Interesting. The Phoenix is something we could try and ambush in combat. Obviously, we do have the Errant and Giada. We can come back, but I think we can kind of, you know, obviously if we're getting to do that for free, deal with it. We don't even necessarily have to commit the Errant, because we have the Brazen Borrow. Obviously the Brazen Borrow would die. We'll see how they decide to come out of the mana here. So I've got 4 unknown cards, after playing a land. If they have a Lightning Strike, do I feel too bad? I don't want to lose. Ooh. Maybe if they go Swift Spear into... okay, they almost certainly have some kind of sorcery. If they want to power up the Swift Spear and it's a burn spell, they can't also bring the Phoenix back with it. So I think I'm just going to use the Brazen Borrow we've got floating around, be efficient with kind of concealing our cards a little bit. Declare a block on both of the Phoenix. We could take one here, and then if they have like a shock or something, they can bring the Phoenix back on our end step. But we'll see. They've got the Soulskull Mage to commit. That's fine. Maybe we could have got away with Errant and Giada here, but I think that playing around the Lightning Strike, at least for now, is fairly reasonable. Alright. I should play the Attic away so we can like shock the hell out next turn. I'm going to go ahead and portable hold the Soulskull Mage. Now we're kind of sat at a pretty high life total versus red, and we've got access to basically everything we want. So let's hope this continues. Right. I'm not going to try and ambush with Errant and Giada. My priority is getting this into play this turn. To then get our card advantage engine kind of online. That is fine. So they're going to pay to bring the Phoenix back. And I said I was like, I'm in on casting Errant and Giada this turn. This way we at least get to block it. And then maybe if they have a shock effect. But, yeah, we're going to go scot-free. We have Avacyn now. which would be pretty nice. Or we'll be able to have Brazen Borrower plus activation on it. Otawara on top for next turn. Let's go ahead and attack. Gonna pass. Obviously we're representing stuff, but hey, that's because we are. I'm tempted to Brazen Borrower this turn, to be honest, and then have Avacyn for when they're attacking the Brainwasher Giant. Depends for how they sequence things. We know they've got Ramanap ruins. Ooh, expertise. They get to cast Spell Office as well. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Let's see what they cast. I don't like they strike us. We get a 10. I'll bring the Phoenix back. Jeez. Main deck carries those expertise I absolutely love. Shout out to Claire. So then we go to 6. Because yeah, planning to block the Swift Spear here. We take 4. Would like to draw a counter spell just to have a little bit of insurance. But Catacomb Waste on top. We'll attack with these. 12. We don't have quite lethal with the Brazen Borrower. We do if I play it. We can play the Otawara. If they don't have a way to lethal, then we can just play these both, and then this can't block. Giving our opponent another draw step for like a second lightning strike if they've got one already is going to be not the play. Alright, play with Fire to Face. Yep. What's going to happen? We go to 4. Will they ever stoke the flames? Oh, ooh, light of the stage. At least get to see the cards here. Okay, so we see Skewer the Critics and the Swift Spear. Huh. We do have lethal. Oh, how does this play out? Residence on the top of that library. Yeah, let's bounce the Phoenix because maybe they decide that they want to kill Avacyn, which saves us some face damage. I don't know about this, to be honest. So them not skewering us is going to be is you know, a bit dangerous for them. What do they want to do? They're going to skewer Avacyn. This is kind of what I hope. It feels weird to say, but kind of what we're hoping for. This thing doesn't have haste when it comes from the hand as well. Worth noting. Oh, this is huge actually. I'll play the Atacol Waste then. Let's attack both of these. We got Brazen Borrower. Okay. We have to. Oh, yeah, we don't even have to fade the draw step really, unless they have Stoke the Flames. If they have Stoke the Flames, we're in a rough spot. That's good to know about. Jeez. There's the Phoenix. Cast this first, see what's on top. We're just storming off here. Alright, well, this is the power. This sadly cannot block, and so we will make our attacks. Okay. It's an interesting one. If I was them, I would probably have shot my face, because we had a draw step. But hey. So here, I like the Angels, I like the Set of the Wreckage. I don't think I want the Fate Flaps into the Supreme Verdict. Give that everything. I'm kind of happy to cut these Bankbusters out. Some of these 2/1 creatures are a little vulnerable. Especially if they're playing End of Festivities. That's mean. Nothing big in particular I wanted to kill. They have the they have the how do I feel about the Phoenix? Do I want to bring in a Rest in Peace? I don't think so. We've got plenty of flying blockers for it. I think this is right. We're like loading up a little bit on 5s, but think we'll be okay. Maybe we don't want to cut this. Oh, cutting that when we have the Mind Sensor in the deck is probably a punt. So let's get rid of the Mind Sensor. Alright. Okay. Nice. The Mind Sensor's a cute card. Like, if you want to change anything here, feel free to go ahead and yeet the Mind Sensor out of the list. You're like, I want to play this card, I don't know what to cut. And hey. It is sometimes nice to have a card in your run. But I just ooh, okay. You're a 1-drop. Maybe we can go bar for bar. I mean, their creatures are just bigger than ours. Over the first few turns, anyway. Swifts are getting active. Second Swift Spear, yeah. This is the opposite of last game. The last game we managed to like not take damage for, well, keep our lifesteal pretty high for a while. One of the things here is that we want to draw towards some of our better cards. We have an Django for next turn. We can like have that and the oh, it's like take pain off of the Adakar waste or Shocker Hallow Fan. I think for now this is the play. There's no real way for us to block with the Spectral Sailor. Well, other than chump block. If we're chump blocking it, we should chump block it later. We should chump block on our terms, not on theirs. Ooh, Sunscorched Desert. Yeah, they are in. They have all these sorts of lands. So there's a Kens in here. Obviously, we saw Ram. This is good because it gets sacrificed to Ramnap runes as well. Line up the stage resolves. Books. They're gonna make the Phoenix. They probably want to play the Phoenix. We do have quite a few cards that are a little inefficient versus red. We'll play the Mastermind. Maybe I do want to bring in Verdict. Verdict's also bad versus Phoenix. There's one of the things where they just got out of the board ahead of us and we don't really have a good winning strat. We maybe make this chump block. I don't know how I feel about it. I think so, because with the Django as well. This is me trying desperately not to Shocker Hallow Fan into play. Oh dear. Yeah. Let's see what else they have. So, we got 11 here. We're going down to 7 from these. I think we have to try and make the play that commits us to the board and deals with one of their attackers. It's a 6. If they've got Lightning Strike, then... Oh, I said if they've got Lightning Strike. Yeah, that puts us a 2. We know what we're drawing. Let's scoop this one up. We'll have an Django, but... Oh yeah, we're dead on board. Alright. To change anything. We're on the draw. We didn't get to turn 4 anyway. Annoying. Oh, loading up on 4s and 5s is not necessarily what I want. Maybe I cut an Abyss in here. But we need to make sure we've got interaction too. We've got Fate's Absence we can bring in, and we've got the Verdict. So those are the cards I'm thinking about. Let's drop these in real quick. The other cards I'm not super fans of are the Spectral. So the Spectral Sailor doesn't even chump block the Phoenix. Whereas these we can kind of get in with. The thing about Faerie Mastermind is it lets us put a clock on them, whereas the Spectral Sailor doesn't really do that. So I think cutting these is fine. And then, we have a bunch of really good cards, we've just got to get to them. I'm going to cut the Sector Adversary after all. On the play, the Mate Disappears are still great, I think. Yeah, this is a bit of a tough matchup. So if you can make some considerations to be much more anti-red out your sideboard. This is solid. Excuse me. You come close. So you've got Portable Haunt. We're going to have Petty Theft for turn 2. We're going to have a Spell Queller. Let's see if we'd be able to protect the Spell Queller. But, yeah. Now we have an interesting one where do we want a Brazen Borrower or do we want a Portable Haunt? I think using the Brazen Borrower to get some extra time and stall a bit is pretty nice. I'll play the island first. We'll say go. I am going to bounce this. On the off chance, again, that they have like at this stage they want to just like trigger and kind of try and go off with it. Mutavault. They actually do have all these zones bans. They're playing Mutavault, Sunscorched Desert. I don't know how many Sunscorched Deserts they're playing. There's a lot of colourless lands. But they might not be playing like 4 Mutavaults. Alright. Now, we get to portable hold of Bloodfeather Phoenix. And we're laughing. We've got Make Disappear up. We'll see if they've got. They're just going to replay the Swift Spear, or they're going to play something else. If they replay the Swift Spear, well, okay. Never mind, I'm not going to counter it because it won't seem matter. But. Fine. I'd rather save the Make Disappear to reset Spell Queller, but keeping them off the board here is good enough for me. It's fine. Okay, so we've got Spell Queller, we've got a Brazen Morrow. We're also, again, at a high level, they have a Sister in play, but we're doing okay. Just gonna let this hit. What the Brazen Morrow in? It would be very strange to like try and trap an end of the facility. Oh, that's a good draw. That does also deal with the end of the facilities problem. Festivities. Don't end the facilities, please. They've got something. They've got something. Okay. There's that desert coming in again. This is pretty safe. They have 4 mana, but if they like double like lightning strike the Avacyn, we get to keep the Brazen Boar. They'll soak up a ton of damage. I think that's fine. Ooh, a Fry. Okay. That also does a lot of things. This will still keep the Brazen Boar alive? No, it won't, because Soulscar Mage. I should have thought about that. Jeez. Now this looks pretty stupid. Okay. I forgot about Soulscar Mage. Damage gets started, -1, -1 counts. Well, this is awkward. I also wasn't expecting the Fry, to be fair, but I think that's fair. The Spell Queller to block the Mutavault with no lets us play a Spell Queller with no spell under it, which helps a lot of it. We're on 7. Let's cancel the Bone Crusher Giant. I think that seems reasonable. We're gonna go to yeah, we're in such bad shape. I was saying our lifesteal was pretty healthy like a turn ago, and they've got access to manlands as well. We are just dead on board, unfortunately. Let's make him attack. This is where you're like, this is the Satyr Wreckage turn. But, alas. Yeah, we are dead. Alright, let's play another one. Alright, in with a match numero dos. So we're up against. We're on the draw. Yeah. Tough one versus red there. Okay, interesting. We have an interesting mix of like some interaction, counterspell, and some pressure, which is what we want to see. This music is decidedly creepy. This is a random time to say, hey, do you like the random like arena music in the background, or do you want me to just disable it? I have the actual preference to having it off, but someone in the video a while ago, like, oh, when I was asking, they were like, no, keep it on, it'd be cool. So, one time I'm actually happy to see Stomping Ground, then, if we had Forest into Llanowar Elf and we didn't have a... we'd be far behind very, very quickly if they were, like, turn 2 Kiora. That is awesome. Actually not seen that art yet. Alright, well, the turn 2 they make a 4-4 is also not necessarily what we want. I'm gonna roll with it. We can take the Elf away, but it's a little late at this point. I think we're better off holding up a mix of May Disappear and Mastermind. We'll attack the Elf. But, yeah. This is play draw diff to the fullest, because we just be able to counter this. We're on the play here. I swear that's the default arena music. So Gigant is interesting. I expect this to be like fairly like just red green boat-ish. Guys and things. But I'm thinking quite a bit about the turn here. I do have a third land. At this point they're probably thinking this is blue-white spirits. Okay, I was like, maybe they make a chariot, but no. Alright, so Llanowar Elf into... You know what card I'd really, really like to have around? Goblin Bushwhacker. Sorry, Reckless Bushwhacker. Goblin... Don't mind me. I don't want to flash in to block the Elvish Mystic. They're not going to pump here, they're just going to pass. If they pass, I get to feel a little bit better about it. Okay. I'm going to make Faerie Mastermind. In a turn cycle, we're going to get to use a Spectral Adversary, and we can maybe buy a turn facing out the Migloz. Because it is like a problem. I'm going to Giant the Spectral Sailor. Interesting. Okay. Ooh, Wandering Emperor also a good draw. Oh, do we want to shock here? So if we shock here, we can hold up... No, we should shock next turn. And then we get to kind of threaten it around a little bit as well. I'm going to portable hole one of these Mystics. We're taking so much damage off of this, by the way. But, alas, here we are. Let's see, then. Yeah, you may attack. Yup. Well, one of the things is if we just main phase the Wandering Emperor, it means we're probably losing this to Llanowar Elf. Pass turn. They had 4 mana, so they don't have Chariot. Have they got boats in hand? Is that what it is? They maybe just have Sky Sovereigns in hand. I can't imagine 3 of them though. I imagine one of these is like a Bone Crusher Giant, or maybe a... Yeah, Bone Crusher Giant. Or some other early piece of interaction. Not a Firing Impulse, but... anything else? That obviously has resolved. It said the Battle Trigger has resolved. Always a good. Yeah, there's a Lightning Strike on the Mastermind. That is fair enough. It is, once it's in play, the most powerful. Oh, the Plains is actually a huge draw here. We're at 8, so they've got to think something's up. Does this thing give itself Hexproof? It doesn't, but it can give itself Vigilance and Menace. Which is like... oh, that's good. I'm just going to pass. That implies that like I think we need to block. Ooh, the second Beseiju. Slick. Alright, they get an elf back. I will take a land. Can I just take a tap Taliban? Even though we could do this, I want to not. I don't think they're likely to pay the cost to keep it vigilant. Maybe they are humongous Giga Keybrain. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, the reason I didn't main phase this is because we just dies to the Llanowar Elves. We want to try and preserve it, hopefully. We need to combat. Alright, do we have anything for the Wandering Emperor? There's a good chance this gets like bolted or some kind of... This finds its way removed from play very quickly anyway. But getting the Migloz off the board is huge. If they have to commit something to get rid of the Wandering Emperor, then that's something we can deal with. Alright, tap Copperline Gorge, and the Broken Shrew to play. It does mean business, for sure. You're in a spot. The half. Next turn we can animate the Hall to block. This turn, can we afford to actually to minus this? If we plus, I can at least threaten a block on the Bunker Giant to kill it. Or threaten an attack or block an Elvish Mystic. And for now they've got to kind of think about getting rid of the Wandering Emperor. We'll see. We'll make the block here. Wandering Emperor full, but we get a couple of things out of it. We'll snap Cat of the Chariot. Get that out of here. Alright, so they've got Gigantha, and then they're playing off the top now. No man lands. Reckoner Backbuster is one of the best cards we can draw, really. So let's go ahead and get this going. I'm going to main phase activate this. Just in case we get like Spell Queller or a Counter Spell. Alas, we did not. What do they have? Okay, they're going to add Gigantha. What's the other card? It's a Lair. Lair is like, okay, well. We'll carry on drawing perfectly. Maybe should have let them animate the Lair. But I kind of like doing this now. Okay, Errant God is another really excellent drawer. Let's see what they actually have, though. Let's stop on my upkeep. Jeez. Okay, that's not something that's easy for us to deal with. For sure. We at least get a block in here. This can eat the... Oh, okay. I do not want this stuff on my draw set. We've been drawing pretty well, you know. Okay, I spoke too soon. Let's say go. Yeah, we have Emperor, we have Errant, we can do something weird with Reckoner Backbuster maybe. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pass. Let's say my turn. Activate this to draw. Did I play the Wandering Emperor out? I don't think so. They don't have a way to get trampled, is the only thing. Don't have a way to mess the top card of our library. Well, we're in an interesting spot. There are 15. They have a manland now too. Right. Through this. Wandering Emperor. A few things that need to kind of happen. I think we want to exile the Gigantha. We can. There's one or a couple of things. We find trading the Errant away, so I think this set of blocks is the correct ones. Then we've got another one to play from our hand. Let's just keep cards active. We'll see how we're surviving next turn. That still remains to be seen. Okay, that's good. Let's down tick here. I want some information. Alright, I'm gonna say go. We've got a lot going on. They've got a lot of attackers. And some probably pretty good chat decks. The nice thing about the way green-red decks have turned is that they don't really play Aim the Cleave anymore. Which I personally am very happy about. They're gonna pass. Jeez, okay, well. I don't want to give them a card when I can just get cards. So. I kind of fancy just drawing this one. No need to give them an extra card. We're kind of incentivized to just do our thing, right? We're on 4 life. It's the concern. Pop off a little. They're gonna scoop it up. Yeah, we've got too much going. Errant and Giada takes a game. Huge. That was a series of good draws, to be honest, because the Record of Backbuster also did like huge work. Anyway, Sideboard. I like the Fatal Labyrinths. There's some pretty big stuff we want to deal with. So the Record is good. I think the Angels are good enough, but yeah, I think we deal with pretty much everything. In terms of what we want to cut, the counter spells are pretty awkward on the draw, but hey, the Mind Sense is going again. Unfortunately, haven't played a matchup where it's good today. We're also actually, you know, this. The reason the adversary is important is that being able to phase some of the big creatures out and just like buy us a turn is really great. The Spectral Sailor is going to go away. We shouldn't really get drawn into big, like, really like playing off the top mid range. Well, playing off the top like that often. We should either be dead or be firmly in the lead. And then let's get to what else we're cutting here. We're gonna have pretty much all this stuff. Just have to have answers for the elves, even though the portable hole's not doing much else. We cut Abyssin to keep the curve down. Velquella solid. Got one more card. They're going 1 to 3, but having the counter spell for the because Chariot is equally important. Yeah, I want to make one more trim. Maybe I just bring one of the angels in. I don't know. Get rid of the adversary. I just remember Brazen Borrower. Because realistically, the creatures are pretty efficient. They're like 1 mana, 3 mana. Bounce the Escus Chariot, not really what we want to be doing, so okay. You bounce the tokens, but they're still up a lot. Okay. Mastermind made this appear. We're going to keep this. We're on the draw. We've got lands, which is, you know, good in theory. They were very bad time. Draw the portable hole. Did not draw the portable hole. Okay. That's fine. And the mono green star. Oh, Pithing Needle. What's that naming? Wandering Emperor? That's fair. You gotta think it's one of the only good names in the deck. The only good name in the deck, I think. The only reason I bring it in. And even still, depends what you're cutting, I guess. Maybe some cards you really, really want to cut. Okay, no Escus Chariot is huge, but we have the counter spell. We'll take the 1. Have they got a 3-drop? Ooh, Gigantha is great for us. Now we want to play the Mastermind game until we land Lyra. So let's go in for 2. Fourth land. This is pretty annoying. I'm not willing to sacrifice the Mastermind for that. We have to double up, play this like weird on a tempo game, so we're going to make another Mastermind here. Hoping they don't have End the Festivities. If they have End the Festivities, I might scream. So bear with me. Alright, we've got a Field of Ruin, which is nice to have around. No, I want... Oh, we can... They're not gonna play around the Wandering Emperor, are they? I want to shock this so we have access to make double mate disappear. They can do a lot of damage, but we can draw some cards. And next time we get to Slam Lyra, and hopefully they don't have a good answer for that. So again, they could have same card we lost in game 1, or in the first match. Just slipping my mind. The 1 in a red, deal 5 damage. Game used to combat. May attack. They're checking the Pithing Needle, like, yeah, we did name Wandering Emperor. Nice. So we go to 11. The only other thing about Lyra is this can pump itself, obviously. And I'm not worried about Embercleave. Absolutely not. Please do not occur a Wobby. And this is why we shocked. Okay. This is a bit of a clench turn, because we're going to Slam Lyra and then hope we get another turn of the game. And there's a slight chance we don't. They could double pump here, in which case we take 8. But then they are not quite dead on board. So, hey. You do get teams in life back, though. I'm not going to block this. Alright, they're not going to do anything. Do they have another Akaran War? They don't. They're just going to make Gigantha. Okay. Ooh. This is interesting. The trample. Like, give itself vigilance. I think this is the right attack. To be fair, the Lyra, if the Lyra connects twice, they're dead, so we should just down the Lyra. And then also, because this thing, as we just read, has Menace. I will get rid of the Elf. It's a bit of just in case it stops what they can. It limits a little bit what they can do with the layer of the Hydra. It may be, like, if we weren't so close to dead, it could maybe be considered saving it for the Pithing Needle, so that when if we draw a Wandering Emperor, we get it online. Alright, they're going to give it Vigilance and Menace. That's fair enough. We're at 12, though. We did gain a bunch of life back. They've shocked 6. They can give it another... They can give... It's 2 mana for 2 counters, but they use 2 mana for 2 counters for +2/+2. Good ratio for us. Yeah, they're going to activate the Lair of the Hydra. But I don't think this is a path to... Go with the other ruin. They have an Embercleave. 4... we can't play on the Embercleave anyway, right? Right. What, 6? Or 5? Yeah, we just don't. There's no way for us to see. They can get +2/+2. Again, +2/+2. That'll do it. That'll do it. Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed V-White Flash. This deck is super sweet. As you've seen, Errant and Giada is amazing. And, yeah, try it out, try it out. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.